Sometimes, most of the time, there are multitudinous directions for every path, endless choices for each scenario. But on rare and precipitous occasions, there is only one path, one choice. Humanity, as we know it, has nowhere to go. It has reached the greatest expression of which it is capable. It has reached its discordant counterpoint, the end of its possibility for a positive and vital evolution in its current form. It is like growing old. One day you wake up and everything is different. Yet the majority of humanity are simply living their lives as they always have, oblivious to their own expiration. It is, for them, as if the conditions for their own adaptation have not changed, as if the disintegration and uselessness of their structures, both societal and biological, are normal. It is like a spectre who is wandering around a dimly lit terminus, the ghost of a malingerer who has suddenly arrived at the end of a frantic journey to desuetude. They are being stalked by a cruel mathematics. There is a gap between the rate of the evolution of technology and the limited ability of humanity as individuals and as societies to adapt to it and to realize it. Humanity's evolutionary success has been contingent upon the expansion of its intellect with its lure of novelty. This type of natural selection has served it well, from its origins of competing with other agile, intelligent animals to its obvious rewards in the civilized and advanced societies for access to the amenities for success and survival. Yet the individual is still limited by a mere 5 senses, the shackles of procreation, and the exigencies of survival. Meanwhile, the cultures of humanity have reached a saturation point. The creation and proliferation of non-sentient technologies has enabled humanity to share and combine its knowledge, to explore its different styles and cultures, to refresh and transform ideas. Now, most of these cultural influences, these variations on the similar archetypes of the human mind, have been discovered. Most of their features have already been shared. Unique and original ways to combine them are diminishing in number. The individual limitation and cultural saturation are particularly prevalent in the arts, the most tangible reflection of the vitality of the species. Most of the melodies that fall within the spectrum of beauty, as perceived by 5 limited senses, have already been sung. The significant styles of painting, as rendered in 2 dimensions, and perceived and appreciated by these senses, have been discovered. The archetypes of characters and themes of literature and film are just a repeating of variations on the originals. It is the art of a species where almost all is now derivative. It is offered as a sampling, a remake, plagiarism, an ersatz version, and almost pathetically as nostalgia. It really is the same old song. Perhaps the most evolutionarily important and healing of all of the arts, humor and touch, have been censored and silenced by the triumph of political correctness, of ideology, which is itself the saddest product from this lack of novelty, or at least of its lack of appreciation. It is where people are afraid to touch, to speak their own truth of experience, even to think their own thoughts, censoring themselves from a fear of their own feelings, or stymied by a fear of litigation or political reprisal. The final joke, it appears, is only on humanity, as it has condemned itself to living in a humorless society, where even the most basic expressions of human intimacy are viewed with suspicion. This triumph of political correctness requires more and more stringent rules of behavior to compensate for a sexual dimorphism that is quickly becoming an effete biological oddity, an evolutionary anachronism. It is the last framework of communication for a species whose biologically and emotionally based behaviors and rituals of procreation have reached this discordant counterpoint of unshared needs, where its goal is now detached from its means, and whose communication and interaction are now so incompatible that they can only proceed according to a bureaucratized framework. In fact, it is the most fundamental determinant in the tendency toward bureaucratization in late humanity. Thus, humanity will need a new vessel, a new level of sentience. The man-machine hybridization will transform the evolutionary process. Fixed Star's Rise explores the psychological programming and conditioning of the first man-machine hybrids, where the archetypes of the creation stories of the past form a foundation for a new code of ethics that is grafted onto the individual experiences of the new race, the Mans, where man and experience are transformed. This is the place, at the end of human evolution as we have known it, where the evolutionary riddle of male homosexuality will become apparent as being almost perfectly suited for this new race and for this new life without the biological necessity of procreation, while devoted to the individual and societal pursuits of novelty, variety, experience, refinement, and appreciation. It is where the creators will recreate man in their own image, transforming the evolutionary process. And like a self-fulfilling prophecy of an ancient creation story, intelligent design will finally become possible, as evolution will be guided by teleology, by this society of gay men who live their lives as aesthetes in perpetuity, in their recreation of the Elysian fields, fulfilling the promise of nature.